In the high-speed world of Formula One racing, there's more to those sleek race cars than meets the eye. Today, we're delving deep into the fascinating world of aerodynamics and the core components that make a Formula One race car work. But before we go any further, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Now let's kick things off with aerodynamics. This is all about how the car interacts with the air around it. Imagine the car as it slices through the air, and the air responds in a unique way. The front wing curves upward, guiding the air around it to create an area of high pressure above the wing and low pressure beneath it. This pressure difference generates a magical force known as downforce, which is what keeps the car glued to the track. But where the wing ends and these pressure zones meet, they collide, creating a swirling vortex. These vortices can slow the car down, so engineers added a cap at the wing's tip to minimize this effect. The inside edge of the wing is pointed. Curved surfaces intentionally shape and direct a vortex around the car's floor, sealing in clean air that passes underneath. So, vortices, while causing some drag, also help control the airflow around the car. Unlike regular cars, Formula One cars don't have fenders. The open, spinning wheels create turbulent air, which isn't great for aerodynamics. To tackle this, barge boards step in. They clean up some of this turbulent air while pushing away the dirty air generated by the wheels. Now, let's talk about the narrow gap between the car's floor and the track. This space transforms the entire floor into a massive downforce generator. Air rushes beneath the car at a different rate and pressure than the air above, creating low pressure and helping the car stick to the track. This is all thanks to a forward tilt, or rake, of the floor. And at the rear, there's a diffuser with upward curvature. It also has vertical vanes that control and direct the vortices formed behind the car as the air exits from underneath. Clean air is cleverly guided into the side pods for cooling, ensuring the engine doesn't overheat. The car's body gracefully guides the air streams around it to ensure predictable handling, even under extreme conditions. The rear wing is another superstar in generating downforce. It has notched end caps, gaps, and louvers that shape the rear wing vortices. And on rainy days, you might spot misty wingtip vortices, a spectacle for the eyes. When the drag reduction system, or DRS, is engaged, a hydraulic actuator tilts a section of the rear wing. This reduces rear downforce and allows for higher speeds, making overtaking opportunities more exciting. Now let's dive beneath the exterior bodywork to uncover what keeps it all together: the core support structure. It's made of carbon fiber and houses the engine heads, the engine block, and the gearbox enclosure. There's no additional frame underneath. Everything is directly connected to this sturdy foundation. Both the front and rear suspension setups share similar components. Upper and lower wishbone arms connected to a push or pull rod. The wishbones are like the car's bones, providing structural support with limited vertical movement. At the front, where heat isn't a concern, the wishbones are directly attached to the monocoque and feature flexure joints designed to bend under load. At the rear, where heat can be intense, spherical bearings are used. The push or pull rod is where the suspension action happens. It's connected to a rocker and damper, shock absorbers in regular cars. Instead of traditional coiled springs, F1 suspension relies on torsion bars, small metal rods that twist under load. It keeps the car stable and nimble. Each wheel is connected to a torsion bar that twists to limit body roll. It's like a flexible support system that keeps the car balanced during turns. Heave is how the car moves up and down. Think of it as its vertical position, which is crucial for proper aerodynamics. The heave spring and damper come into play when both sides move together, like during acceleration or braking. They help maintain stability by absorbing the bumps and dips in the track. The steering system is closely connected to the front suspension. A track rod links each tire to a hydraulic rack and pinion setup. It's like a well-oiled machine that allows the driver to turn the wheels. The rear suspension also has a track rod for adjusting the tire angle. And for safety, all wheels are tethered to the car with strong cables. These wheel tethers ensure that in case of an accident, the wheels stay connected to the car. They're car's anchors, bringing it to a stop when needed. The braking system consists of a master cylinder and reservoir that stores hydraulic fluid for braking. Formula One cars have two master cylinders, one for the front brakes and one for the rear. The driver can adjust the brake bias, directing more pressure to the front or rear brakes as needed, thanks to an electronically controlled bias screw. Brake lines snake through suspension elements to reach the brake caliper and shoe assembly. To handle the intense heat generated during braking, the inner wheel assembly is covered by a carbon fiber shroud. The front wing even helps direct air into brake ducts for cooling. The brake discs and shoes are made from a special carbon-based material designed for maximum cooling. Thousands of small holes in the disc help dissipate heat effectively. And now, let's dive into the heart of the beast, the engine. It's a V6 configuration with flat and small pistons, perfect for high revving performance. The exhaust headers feed a split turbocharger, which has a turbine at the back powered by hot exhaust gases. This turbine drives a front-mounted compressor wheel. To cool the engine and maintain air pressure, an intercooler takes in air from above the driver's head and cools it using side pod air. This cooled air is then directed to each cylinder for optimal performance, while also cooling the engine and other components as it exits the car. The exhaust system is like the car's lungs with dual wastegates for excess gas release. In between, there's the MGU-H, which turns turbo heat into electricity. Formula One cars are hybrids with the MGU-K, adding 160 extra horsepower. The fuel tank is strong, puncture-proof, and holds 30-40 gallons for the whole race without pit stop refueling. The 8-speed gearbox sits behind the engine, and it has a special design to handle the car's power. It's like the car's transmission, ensuring that the power from the engine is delivered to the wheels efficiently. Let's talk about the driver's space, the cockpit. The driver's seat is custom-made to fit them perfectly. They sit in a reclined position, almost like lounging in a hammock, held securely by a 6-point harness. This is the legendary Formula One steering wheel. It's not round because drivers rarely take their hands off it. In the center, a customizable display shows essential data like gear, lap times, tire and brake temps, and average speed. But it's the array of knobs, dials, and LEDs that's truly mind-blowing. Drivers can fine-tune settings on the fly. There's the energy recovery system dial, menu buttons, a radio switch, LED warning lights, and more. Paddles at the back handle gear shifting, while the middle ones are customizable. The bottom paddles control the clutch. Only one is used for race starts, and once in motion, shifting doesn't require the clutch. Formula One cars are packed with sensors. A pilot tube measures airspeed, custom earplugs track head movement, and there's even a rear microphone to capture exhaust sounds.